Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Shadowile, and here we have the first ever PFE Podcast. So, you may be wondering, how are you going to do a podcast on a Roblox game? Don't worry about that, we'll handle it as we get there. So, how I want to do this is, I want to do it, majority of it unscripted and in one take pretty much. So, there will be some stutters like that was right there and some mistakes being made. But as we move along, I will hope to improve the audio quality. It would be a sort of theories and ideas whatnot, and I'll I'll create a special email for this so that fans could email in suggestions and topics as we move along. I also plan to have a special guest and a co-host. We were gonna have a co-host for this episode, but there was some audio problems that I do hope to fix by the next episode. And for those wondering, when will there be episodes? I plan to have this episode air date every Friday. There will be at least a podcast episode, and then throughout the week there'll be another video that you guys can watch. I do plan on having this be a short episode since this is the first episode, but as we move along, there will be like hour long episodes, and I'll cut that down into sections and then upload each section onto YouTube so that those that want to find a specific part of the podcast can find that specific part. And then if those that just want to listen to the whole thing, they can just listen to the whole thing, and it'll be like that later on. So the first theory or idea that I wanted to talk about is how team battles would work in PFE. Now, I'm not saying this has to be added, and it clearly doesn't need to be added. It could help out certain fights or tournaments later on, but you would have it create like a party system in which those that are in the party can't harm the other people in the party, and then make it so that you could actually do team battles. And then, for example, for elusive battles, you could have so and so have a challenge. Let's just say gamer have a challenge in which it's a tag team tournament, and if one of your teammates is eliminated, you're both eliminated, or if both teammates are eliminated, then you're both out, something like that. And then in the end, you could either have it so that they face off for the elusive, or that they both get it. It's really up to the staff member itself. But for tournaments, it'd be something like that. Also, it'd be it really makes certain Pokemon a lot more useful, because having to rely on yourself and then having to avoid certain moves are challenged. For example, when someone uses Earthquake, it's an AoE, so it hits everything in the vicinity. So even if you're not trying to attack that person in particular, it would still hurt them. And for those that would be in a team, they wouldn't have to worry about staying out of range for Earthquake. And for example, Helping Hand is a really important move. For team battles, you could once you add team like the party system into the game, you could also add in Helping Hand, and then it could actually do something. Maybe I don't know what the effects of Helping Hand are off the top of my head, but give it like a 1.5 stat buff on the next move that your person uses, but it only works on those in the party. And I'm not saying you'd have to have a big party. For instance, we're gonna go back to Gen 5 here real quick, since you could use a triple battle, how they had it in Gen 5, or you they had rotationals, except each person would represent their own Pokemon and whatnot, blah blah. And I don't think this might be for the next part, like in a later episode. But yeah, there could be trades, and that's fine and dandy. But say someone in your team kills somebody, you could get like a very small portion of it. So say the person they killed is worth 150 experience. You would get like 75 experience, and then if they were worth 100 experience, you'd get, I don't know, 50, and then if they were worth 50 experience, you'd get 25. Nice and dandy. And it'd help out leveling with that also. But so it doesn't need to be overly complicated. It could be just a little something to help out add. And you'd also have to create like a team chat or party chat. That way you can message people in your party, say there's a stone that you're looking for and your teammate found it. They can message you without having to use Whisper, because Whisper is for nerds. They could be like, hey, blah blah blah. Here's the Blazikenite. I probably butchered that, but I don't care. And you could have like a little blue dot for people that are in your chat, not in your chat, in your party. That way you could tell where they are. So that way, if you don't go try and kill your teammate, even though it wouldn't work, but you wouldn't have to be like, oh man, why isn't my attack working? It sucks, man. I'm reporting PFE for being a broken game. It doesn't have to be that bad of an idea. And again, I'm not saying this has to be added, because it really doesn't. It's just a cool little thing that could be a feature. For example, and this I guess it's taking personal benefits also, because I know one of the things that I tried were team battles when I did the battle seasons, and you could have one trio versus another trio, and they, instead of them having to face each other, because I couldn't do teams properly, you could have them face the other trio, and it could be a really nice thing to see. And I think when we tried, I think it was either Hoenn starters versus Kanto starters, or something like that, that there was I think it was Venusaur used sleep powder, and it hit his teammate. I think it hit Charizard, and Charizard died because it didn't wake up in time. If we had like a party system, it probably wouldn't have died from that. I mean, like, I'm not saying it wouldn't have died to begin, like, overall, because Charizard was kind of trash in that fight, but it would have survived a lot longer than what it did. Anyways, that's just a little thought there. I'm gonna wrap up the video, well, podcast, and by saying, well, like, share, subscribe. Make sure to check out Colossal Gaming. His channel will be in the description. He's this really cool guy that I met a couple days ago that I told him I'd shout him out. So, check his channel out. Also, since I will be creating an email for this, the link to the email will also be in the description. Make sure if you want to have certain questions or theories went over, that you email me using that email, and to make sure it's like an actual email about a question or something like that, use the subject as hashtag PFE Podcast, or else we might overlook it. Anyways, see you guys in the next video. Ciao.